Hey guys, Sean here at Fusion Elite Trading, and I wanted to go over KITT from yesterday. It had a 136% run following Trump's comments on a robot order, which sent that whole sector running yesterday. You had names like Serve, SERV, IRBT, Tesla, and a bunch of more making some huge moves. And whenever a stock makes a big move like this, I like to go back and see where the best setups were and how I could have traded them. And if I did trade it, how could I have traded it better? So KITT was an interesting one because it gave a very good long look that I wanted to use as a lesson on why it's important to understand where other traders are likely positioned. If you can figure that out, then you have a really good idea on where you should be positioning yourself. And this way of thinking can be applied to both large and small caps. So let's jump into this. KITT, you can see, had a huge move, just kept grinding higher all day. But the main setup I wanted to talk about was right in here when it first started to take off. So you can see it kind of chopped around pre-market and into the open, and didn't really start going until we started coming into lunch here around 11 o'clock. And what we're looking at here is the first big leg in the move. And then we get a pullback into the VWAP and the 10-day, and we started to hold. We started to put in this bull flag pattern. So everyone that was buying here is looking for this to hold and make a new leg higher. But what ended up happening is it failed and broke to the downside, okay? And then we started to hold below VWAP. What this did was it shook out all the long hands, the weak hands that were buying in here because we broke out to the downside. And now you have shorts positioning in. They see this breaking down, we're going through VWAP, they're hitting the bid, they're looking to take this lower, maybe down to low a day. And obviously that didn't happen. What did happen is we started just consolidating on lighter volume before reclaiming the VWAP again and setting up a really tight bull flag right in here. We had like 5 or 6 candles just really tight, and the best breakouts come from a really tight base like this. And you can see we got this move higher. But what really fueled this move is we loaded up shorts on this side here that on this failed move, and we shook out the longs. So now you have longs looking to get back in as we're breaking out, and you have the shorts starting to sweat it and have to stop out, which is increasing the buying pressure, and you can get these really powerful moves. So when you see trappy moves like this failed breakout that ends up getting rebitted anyways and then breaks out, you have a lot of people off sides here, and now you're going to get these big sustained moves, and that's exactly what happened here. And something you want to look for. And in fact, we had another move like that today, albeit it wasn't as nice or as clean. But Kala put this, we had this nice pop here. We had this bull flag like pennant look, and look what it did. It failed to the downside, shook out the weak longs, got shorts in it, and look, reversed immediately. We had this, and look at the breakdown here too. Super light volume down here. And then it rebids VWAP and just squeezes super high. Got all those shorts off sides. You know, we probably had a bunch of shorts from the pre-market as well that use this pre-market high as their stop. And look what it did. It did a huge run right into pre-market highs and higher, big liquidity sweep, and then it failed obviously in the end, but this could have been a really easy long if you knew what you were looking for, right? You got the shorts off sides, you got the weak longs out, and boom, they rebitted it up and got a really nice squeeze. So this is just a good look to kind of playbook and understand the psychology and the positioning behind what's happening here. And you can use that to your advantage in the future. And this happens in large caps too. You'll see failed breakdowns through low day. You'll see, in fact, there was one, I think this was the most recent example I was looking at, this GitLab yesterday. They had earnings and got hit really hard. So you had a bunch of shorts involved, right? And it came in and put this low day base in. And then we have this low day break that's reclaimed on volume. And then it trended up for the rest of the day from there. Okay, obviously not as big or extreme a move as some of the other ones, but it's stuff like this. Oftentimes the best longs and the best shorts come from failed moves on the other side, right? Like the best longs, this is looking to break to the downside, and boom, it got reclaimed, buyer stepped it aggressively, and now this sets up for a really nice long. And vice versa for shorts. If you get a big move to the upside that rejects high a day or pre-market highs, and you get a big stuff candle in the opposite direction, oftentimes that's the best place to short. Right, so just a little tip there for positioning and understanding where other traders likely are and how they're likely to react. That can really help you understand your trading and where you should be looking to get and what to expect from it. Now the rest of the day, KITT, it was pretty grindy. I did end up trading it. I traded it up here. I was shorting it. I did not take the long here, but I like to go back and look at this stuff. You know, naturally I'm a contrarian trader. It's just how I was trained. So when I see big moves, I tend to want to look on the opposite side. But this kind of thing I'm going to try and be more open-minded to and look to take longs on these names, especially when you have a big catalyst like this, like a theme catalyst where lots of stuff are moving. These can often be very powerful. And there was a ton of liquidity on this, so you could have traded really good size if you wanted to. And so there's a couple other looks here. You had a nice flag base here that ended up breaking up, a flat top breakout here. Just a lot of different areas you could have gotten involved with. I took a short here, took a stop on it, took a short here, made a little bit of money, and then stopped in the post market. Really shorting this wasn't the play, obviously, yesterday, so I did lose a little bit of money. And that's why I like to go back and look at these and see if there was a way I could have gotten in long. And I think this was my favorite look. This was the next best look, and then a flat top breakout here. You could have been adding, you could have been buying here, using VWAP as your stop, and then you could have been adding through this flat top breakout here. It ended up in the pre-market. I wasn't on my desk at this time, but we did end up getting a really nice, we got a push higher here, and then we got a really big rejection candle up here on decent volume that ultimately topped this thing out, and we got a big move to the downside. So this would have been good. I probably would have traded this if I was on the desk at that time, but I was not. You can see we put in a little bit of a level here at 220. It pushed through and then failed it. Okay, that's what I was talking about, where often the best shorts or longs are when failed moves in the opposite direction happen. And that's what we saw here. We saw a push higher, getting a bunch of longs, trapping some of the shorts that were shorting versus pre-market highs, squeezed them out, and then we failed hard, and it went, and then they just pulled the bids from there, and it traded lower very quickly. Okay, so always be looking out for that type of stuff. And I just wanted to touch base on this. I think this is a really good trade to look at to understand what's happening in the trade and where traders may be, where they're looking to get, get out or get in. This is typical action that you can see, especially in small caps. You'll see traps and all kinds of tricky action like this to shake out hands, to get people on the wrong side, and then they'll move it in the other direction. So always good to go back, look at how the stock traded that day, look where you could have got in, try and think about where traders were positioned going into the moves, how it was reacted, and this will really help you understand how to trade it going forward when you're seeing it happen live. All right, if you got any questions about this, feel free to hit me up in the comments below. And yeah, I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some insight on trader psychology, trader positioning. I think it will really help you think about trading in a little bit different of a way. All right, take care, guys.